What is up, people of YouTube? I'm your host Vernon. This is the Red River. Let's fish that. Lovely little 14-inch fish. Alright, ladies and gents, we will have some fish in this video, but I want to start out this video a bit differently. I actually want to take you guys behind the scenes, draw back the curtain a little bit, share something with you guys that might explain a couple of my videos, and especially this video. Now, ever since my teenage years, I have actually been struggling with depression. It's one of those simple things where sometimes even the smallest little thing can trigger me going down into this deep dark hole. That is why I often make a scene about breaking a little microphone, or even something as stupid as dropping a coffee mug can sometimes send me down this rabbit hole. And that is rather ironic, considering that over the last 10 years, it's also the happiest I've ever been. So you have this thing where, on the one hand, you have happiness, on the other hand, you have depression. Now, why am I telling you this? I'm telling you this so you understand that the mood I'm in actually affects the videos. Not only just what fish I'm targeting or where I go fishing, but whether I actually get fish. That does influence me in some way. Now, this week in particular, I went back out to Lake Winnipeg trying to find some big greenbacks, but I'm starting to realize that doing some ice fishing out on Lake Winnipeg is a lot more middle class than I think I am. You either need a big pickup truck or a snowmobile to get out far enough to find the deeper waters where the fish are, and simple things like getting a different auger with an auger extension, and of course having something like sonar, massive advantage. And recently being out there, I had a fun time out, but it was rather cool, and not having any action, it does affect me quite a lot. And I thought to myself, I rather want to go and have fun on the ice. It's not just about trying to find the fish, but you also need to have fun. Now, I do often try and convince myself I'm fortunate to go out to these places. There are a lot of people that want to go out on the ice but can't. But it is also important to feel happy about what I'm doing. That is simply why this video here today. Yes, again, we're at Lockport, but I want to find some fish and just feel good about fishing. So that's the plan for today. Let's actually start with some of the fishing. Alright, so we're allowed 2 rods here in Manitoba, so I'm going to be using baits on the one and some jigs and all sorts of different lures on the other one. Now, what I'm going to be using today is just simply going to be some live fish. Now, I do also have some other baits with me, but we're going to start with live lining some fish, just because I do have them, and I don't think they're going to last forever. Just hooking them through the little nose there, and we're just going to send our little fish down the hole. Going to be sending him all the way down. And we have that on our little stand, baited. That fish is going to swim around. If there's something nearby, they will grab him and that will pull on our rod. Like I did mention, I do have some other baits with me as well. We might try putting on some bait fish on some of the lures. Our little rod's moving. Seeing quite a lot of movement on this thing. That little bait fish is going to swim around. We need him to panic, and hopefully something will grab him that will bend the entire rod. There we go, fish on. And a lovely little sauger. Down the hole he goes. A little hook popped at the last moment, using barbless hooks of course, but that's on a little bait fish, just reeling it up off of the bottom a little bit. So let's try that again. There we go, another fish on. This one is on a little spoon. Alright, lovely little sauger. Let's get him back down the hole. to get his head down first, and down he goes, stirring up quite a lot of ice. But that just helps us get our hole clean for the next fish. Kind of almost instantly got hit. Another tiny little sauger. We'll actually measure a few, but not that tiny guy. Down he goes. And this is simply just a little spoon that I bait with pieces of bait fish. I did put on a smaller little bait fish on the other rod, and it seems like that smaller one isn't getting bites, but we're on another fish. Another little sauger landed. Down the hole he goes. And we get one on the little bait fish. Doesn't feel that big. And we have a double up. This is why you only want to be using 2 rods. If you have something like this happen with multiple rods, it will be a problem. But a lovely little 14-inch. And down he goes. Let's see if we still have this one on. No, he came off. But that's okay. We got a lovely 14-inch one. Now this definitely beats sitting around for a couple of hours not getting any fish, having constant action. While sending this one down, we got a hit. This one is a little bit paler than the rest. Still a little sauger, but maybe a little sog eye. Let's get him down the hole. Down he goes. A decent one again. Of course, there are a bunch of toothy critters. Don't want to stick your fingers in there. Let's get this guy back down the hole. Down he goes. Right, so one thing I often don't do is show you when I use any new lures. And today I think I want to try out a little new one. And remember, whenever opening a new lure you use for the first time, they have to be barbless. They don't always get sold barbless, so you have to take your pliers and just close the barbs. This is something you have to do on all of the hooks, so not just the one. Every little hook point, you'd need to close the little barbs. Alright, but our new little lure is ready to go down there. Let's send them down, see if we get anything on it. It is rather light. Maybe you need to put a little piece of bait fish on it just to get some extra little weight. But it does rattle and make noise. So let's see if they'll go for that. And I think we may actually have hooked the bottom. Got some oysters or something. But we get it free. That's why we want to use barbless hooks. You don't want it to get stuck on something like that and lose it immediately.
A few minutes later.
I think the problem with the new lure, it is a little bit light. Whenever fishing current like this, I think it washes up against the ice. It's not sinking down to where the fish are. So maybe swapping out for something a bit heavier. Oh well, there we go. We have something on. Finally something for the new lure as well. Little sauger on our new lure. Getting him down the hole. There he goes. So just by putting on a little piece of bait, making it a tad bit heavier, we get down to where the fish can find them. Right, it's now been something like 40 minutes where I haven't gotten any bites on either of the rods. So I'm thinking I want to swap out to a little different presentation, just putting on a little jig head with a piece of night crawler. Now the reason for that is I can see on my fish finder there's still fish in the area, they're just not going for what I have down there. So let's try swapping out to a different bait, see if that works. So I have the piece of night crawler down there. I just want to check on our little minnow, see whether he's still on there. Yep, he's still there, so let's send him back down. Alright, we have something on the night crawler as well. Lo and behold, another little sauger. Thinking maybe we'll get some gold eye or something. But another little sauger, happy with that. Let's get him down the hole. Down he goes. So, seeing how that's a little sauger, it means the fish are still in the area, they're just not going for the baits. So changing every once in a while to something different, getting them all excited again, that's the way to go. Another little fish on the night crawler. Another sauger. Lovely colors on this one. Just keeping this fish in the water. We don't want his gills to freeze. What a lovely little sauger. See the colors and patterns on this one. Lovely little fish. Keep him in the water again. Not the biggest one for today. At only being 12 inches. But lovely colored one. Lovely looking fish. Let's get him back down. Down he goes. Just swapped holes with the little night crawler. Got ourselves another little sauger. Get him down the hole. Down he goes. Right, not quite sure what this is, but it's putting up a decent fight. This is on a little bait fish again. Little live minnow down there. Don't want to tighten the drag too much because we have no idea what it is. I know we just managed to catch a rock. Little mussels on there on the rock. So, false alarm, no fish. Let's try again. Decent little sauger. Open up, buddy. Another little 13-inch sauger. Catching quite a lot of fish out there today. That's what we want. Some proper fun. Down the hole he goes. A little bit better one. Of course, we've not caught something giant today, but I think this might be the biggest one so far. Again, just keeping him in the water, keeping him oxygenated and not having his eyes or gills freeze. Let's quickly get a measurement on this one. Again, little 14-inch. Lovely little 14-inch fish. Matches the biggest one for today. Down the hole he goes. There we go. Another decent little sauger. Another little 13-inch sauger. Down the hole he goes. It's been something like an hour now where we don't get that many hits or bites, and it is midday, but still good to see that we can get some fish at least. Our little barbless hook came out quite easily, but this fish has been screaming around in the little ice. But lovely colors in this one. He's a bit more green. Let's get him back down the hole. Down he goes. This little guy was good enough to leave us our little bait fish. Down the hole he goes. I don't think our little bait fish is alive anymore. So we'll just keep him for some frozen baits. Another big sauger, down he goes. That was on our little jig head night crawler, but the hook popped out when he reached the hole. Alright, ladies and gents, there's nothing new to this. You've seen me come to Lockport and catch tons of fish many times before. There's no new species, no new PBs or anything like that. But at the end of the day, I did have a good time. And that's what it's all about. Now, of course, I didn't put all of the fish in this video. I actually stopped recording at some point, and I managed to lose 2 rather big fish off camera. There is one thing I would like to remark. Around 1 p.m, quite a lot of people showed up in this particular spot. We had some people fishing around me, catching tons of little goldeye. I think that is what I'm seeing on the fish finder, little goldeye in the area. And every once in a while, there's a little sauger or something following them, grabbing our baits. But all in all, still a pretty good day out there, and I hope you will give me a little thumbs up if you enjoyed the video. Feel free to ask any questions down below in the comments, and if you're new to the channel, consider hitting subscribe, joining my community. Alright guys, but thanks for following along on this one, and like always, I'll see you next time.